flowing lava, sun-scarred landscapes, and few signs of life led early explorers to name the Galapagos Islands hell on Earth. But beyond these parched beginnings, this volcanic archipelago is now our planet's greatest Eden. A wilderness so pristine and rich in life, it allowed one man's studies to alter our entire view of the natural world. Older islands fade away, while new ones emerge from beneath the sea. The Galapagos continues to evolve and continues to be nature's greatest evolutionary laboratory. The Galapagos Islands rank among the most spectacular scientific discoveries in history. Situated 1,000 kilometers west of Ecuador in South America, the archipelago contains 13 main islands and 100 or so smaller rocks and reefs. Some are so desolate and barren, they reveal few signs of life. Others a rich haven, providing a home to bizarre and unique creatures. Human influence has been so limited across the islands, it allowed one man to study and rethink the laws of nature. In 1835, 26-year-old Charles Darwin sailed to the Galapagos Islands in HMS Beagle. The ship's mission was to survey the coast of South America. Darwin was the ship's botanist. 30 years later, Darwin published his theory of evolution, one of the most revolutionary ideas science has ever known. It was the island's small land birds, like finches and mockingbirds, that proved key to Charles Darwin's theory. Each of the 13 species of finch has a different beak for a different purpose. Some are thick and heavy for crushing seeds. Others long and pointed for accessing pollen in flowers. They all descended from a common ancestor that arrived on the islands millions of years ago. The finches established themselves and began to determine territories. With no competition from other birds, they diversified. They developed unique adaptations for each type of habitat. New species were born. Darwin explained that natural selection was the driving force behind this rapid evolution. Following the publication of his theory, these ordinary-looking small birds have been given a new collective name: Darwin's finches. Galapagos Islands were named after their giant tortoises. The Old Spanish word Galapagos meant saddle, a term early explorers used for the tortoises due to the shape of their shells. The Galapagos tortoise is the largest in the world. Some reach 1.5 meters in length and can weigh 250 kilograms. These slow-moving reptiles lead an uncomplicated life. Most days are spent grazing on grass and leaves. In between basking in the sun. Like all reptiles, giant tortoises rely on the sun to warm their bodies and become active. However, the midday sun can be too much to bear, even for cold-blooded creatures. Fortunately, the island's lakes don't just provide a valuable source of drinking water. Bathing in the muddy shallows is the perfect way to cool down. A slow metabolism and large internal stores of water allow the tortoises to survive for up to a year without eating or drinking. Inactivity also helps. They sleep for around 16 hours a day. These giants can live for over 150 years. Darwin noted a variation in the shape of the shell of tortoises from different islands. This became additional evidence for developing his theory of evolution. Galapagos creatures evolve and adapt to their habitat, and their island homes are ever-changing too. The youngest islands furthest west are still forming. A static volcanic hotspot, 1,000 kilometers beneath the sea, continually forces lava to the surface. These newly formed masses eventually cool and are then dragged southeast at a rate of 5 centimeters a year on shifting oceanic plates. On their 200-kilometer journey east, they witness many changes. Ultimately, all Galapagos Islands face the same fate. Disappearing beneath the ocean without a trace. Darwin described how eager he was to witness an active volcano. Although there were no eruptions during his visit, his geological observations altered many volcanic theories. The newest and most westerly Galapagos island is Fernandina. Still situated directly over the oceanic hotspot, this volcanic mass has erupted 24 times in the past 200 years. It's one of the youngest and most active volcanoes on Earth. Fernandina's peak stretches 1,500 meters high, and its crater spans 6.5 kilometers. The island's lava-clad rocky shores and black sand beaches seem the most forbidding of all the Galapagos Islands. Yet life has started to take hold. Pioneer plants, such as these lava cactus, are often first to take root. Their seeds carried from older islands via bird droppings or directly by the wind. But there is one creature that has colonized the entire archipelago, and its mode of travel relies on the sea. Marine iguanas are excellent swimmers. They can reach over 1 meter in length and weigh as much as 9 kilograms. Over 250,000 of these swimming dragons inhabit the Galapagos. They are the world's only species of marine lizard. It's thought that millions of years ago, land-dwelling iguanas from South America drifted out to sea on floating debris. They eventually landed on the islands. Isolated from the mainland, a new iguana evolved and adapted to life at sea. Like all iguanas, this species is vegetarian, yet Fernandina offers very little in the way of visible food. But this species rarely goes hungry. Being cold-blooded, iguanas need to raise their body temperatures to approximately 36 degrees Celsius in order to function. After an hour or so's basking in the equatorial sun, this iguana launches its feeding mission. A flattened tail allows it to dive down to depths of 12 meters to access tufts of red and green algae on the submerged rocks. A short and blunt snout allows it to crop the plant close to its base. This algae is the marine iguana's exclusive diet. Fernandina's currents are surprisingly cold. The iguana's body temperature can plummet 10 degrees on an extended dive. After just 10 minutes, its muscles begin seizing up. Getting back to dry land in time is critical to survival. Long, sharp, recurved claws enable the lizard to hold fast to the lava in heavy seas or when submerged. Along with the algae, marine iguanas ingest a great deal of salt. Specially adapted glands above each eye are connected by ducts to each nostril. The excess salt is sneezed out. Only the larger marine iguanas risk running the gauntlet of the island's chilling seas. Smaller individuals choose a safer option and graze only at low tide on dry land. Fernandina is less than 500,000 years old and offers little sanctuary to land-living creatures. But drifting 75 kilometers further east are islands more than twice its age, and different worlds entirely. Isabella is the largest of all the Galapagos Islands. Consisting of 6 overlapping volcanoes, it's over 100 kilometers long. It makes up half of the total land area of the Galapagos. The volcanic hotspot still simmers beneath Isabella's seas. While above the surface, a creature key to Darwin's evolutionary theory prepares to dive the deep. This cormorant is unique to the Galapagos. Its wings are disproportionately small to the size of its body. They're about 1/3 the size required for it to take to the air. This species has evolved to be flightless. Its legs are much stronger than those of other cormorants. Enlarged feet propel its streamlined meter-long body in search of octopus and small fish. Darwin noted that the flightless cormorant could not have swum from the mainland to the islands. It never ventures further than 100 meters from the shore. It diverged from its flighted cousins and eventually became marooned on the islands. An abundance of food and an absence of predators has allowed this mutant bird to flourish. It's the largest of all cormorant species. Seaweed makes the perfect nest material on top of jagged lava rock. Both parents play a part in raising their young. Although it can no longer fly, the bird still holds its wings out to dry. It's a memory left over from ancestral habits. Further inland, saltwater lagoons provide the perfect refuge to one of the world's most iconic birds. Greater flamingos usually live in large colonies of up to 10,000. The Galapagos plays home to the world's smallest population, numbering less than 600. Most of their day is spent feeding. The shallow water enables them to turn their heads upside down and sweep from side to side. They filter up to 20 mouthfuls a second, separating brine shrimp and small crustaceans from the mud and silt. The consumption of shrimp provides the pink pigment in their feathers. The small population size on the Galapagos has resulted in changes to their breeding behavior. Flamingo populations elsewhere rely on very large groups of birds for breeding to occur. Galapagos flamingos can breed with just a few pairs present. It's the start of the nesting season, and their unique courtship ritual begins. Males and females mate for life, and these coordinated displays are key to reaffirming their bonds. Wing salutes, turning their heads in unison, and twist preening are important courtship signals. The Galapagos flamingos originally flew in from the Caribbean, whereas one mammal swam over 5,000 kilometers to set up home here. Galapagos sea lions arrived from California. They're slightly smaller than their North American relatives. But at over 2 meters in length and weighing as much as 250 kilograms, they are by far the largest mammals on the entire Galapagos Islands. They're most likely one of the first animals Darwin encountered when he came ashore around 180 years ago. Sea lions are well adapted to a semi-aquatic lifestyle. Along with a streamlined body, they can control their hind flippers independently. This makes them far more agile than true seals. Females give birth to just one pup and remain with them on shore for the first week. After this, they go off on foraging trips that can last up to 3 days. Pups left behind gather in nurseries, where they socialize and play. One female remains behind to keep watch. When returning from a trip, females alert their pups with distinctive calls. These reunions initially rely on the mothers. But once they're older, the youngsters call out too. Pups are suckled for up to 12 months, 3 times longer than many other seal species. Adult male sea lions play no role in raising their young. A dominant bull, also known as a beachmaster, spends the majority of his day patrolling the territory occupied by his harem. This particular male has some unwanted company. The intruder is defeated, for now at least. Keeping other males at bay is exhausting work. Some beachmasters succeed for just a few days. Even the toughest only manage to protect their patch for a maximum of 3 months. With the storm over, everyone can relax. However, another predator prepares to move in. It's been patiently waiting for the sea lions to drop their guard. Lava lizards are carnivores. This one has singled out its prey. Flies are a constant irritation to the sea lions, so they welcome this free grooming service. These Galapagos reptiles play an important role in controlling insect populations. Male lava lizards can live up to 10 years and may have 3 or more mates in their harem. This male approaches one of his conquests. He bobs his head up and down to signal his intentions. This female isn't ready or willing to mate. Turning her back and raising her tail lets the male know he's been rejected. The Galapagos Islands sit on the equator, except the climate here isn't typically tropical. The reason lies within the surrounding seas. 3 major ocean currents collide at the very point where the Galapagos Islands lie. The warm Panama Current from the north supports the island's more tropical marine life. The icy Humboldt Current from the south brings nutrient-rich waters from Antarctica. And from the west, the deep-water Cromwell Current rises to the surface upon hitting the Galapagos Shelf. Elsewhere, the temperature at sea level is usually warmer than that at higher altitudes. But here, the opposite is true. The cold waters from the south and west cool the air above them. Colder waters are rich in green algae, which supports a diverse and vibrant food chain. Over 500 species of fish rely on these plankton-rich seas. Large schools of hammerhead sharks patrol the island's waters all year round. This unusual-looking predator can reach over 4 meters in length. Its eyes are a meter apart. Darwin found the Galapagos to be home to many unusual creatures, but none more unexpected than this. Galapagos penguins, descended from ancestors in the Antarctic, 10,000 kilometers further south. They are the only kind living in the northern hemisphere. It's thought they arrived during the last ice age, after being swept north by the Humboldt Current. They later became stranded here after the Earth warmed. The islands furthest west still suffer the effects of the Pacific Ocean hotspot. But drifting further east is a volcanic island that last erupted over 1 million years ago. Santa Cruz is situated in the middle of the Galapagos chain. It's thought to be around 2 million years old. Here the terrain is mixed, ranging from arid lowland to humid higher altitudes. Ancient volcanoes have been swallowed by forest, and the island's peaks are high enough to form rain clouds. Cactus forests line the lower plains. These succulent green plants store water in their stems and leaves. They thrive in hostile climates during times of drought. Most cactus species have spines to guard against grazing animals, but this isn't enough to deter one Galapagos resident. Cactus finches not only feed on the plant's flowers, they also nest among its leaf-like pads. This particular bird may look ordinary, but it became one of the most important species in the entire archipelago after Darwin put all Galapagos finches on the map, forever. The Galapagos Islands are home to another bird whose awkwardness on land, but precision out at sea, also helped influence Darwin's theory of evolution. Blue-footed boobies use a unique method to capture their prey. They plunge dive in unison from heights of around 30 meters. They hit the water at just under 100 kilometers an hour, reaching depths of 25 meters. Meals are usually consumed while still underwater. On North Seymour Island, just off Santa Cruz, it's breeding season. Over 20,000 pairs of blue-footed boobies live on the Galapagos Islands, around 3/4 of the world's population. This male attempts to woo a mate. Blue-footed boobies take great pride in their feet. This male shows them off with a high-stepping strut. Females prefer partners with bluer feet. And this girl seems impressed. He hunches and crosses his wings before sky-pointing his bill. The female mimics the male's behavior, indicating her acceptance. Another ritual can now begin. The male picks up a twig and gently places it at the female's feet. This symbolic act of nest building seals their relationship. However, this couple has some unwanted company. Another male approaches. Fencing with their long beaks is how booby conflicts are resolved. Eventually, the intruder gives up. The bachelor leaves to try his luck elsewhere. Brightly colored body parts play a vital role in the courtship of another island resident. Frigate birds are the real masters of the skies. Strong breast muscles work together with their wings, enabling them to fly fast and soar high. Forked tails help them steer. They have the largest wingspan to body weight ratio of any bird. Males tip the scales at just over 1 kilo, but their wings can stretch to nearly 2.5 meters. Frigate birds can stay aloft for more than a week, landing only to roost or breed. This female is preparing to land, but she's facing a tough choice. The males below have chosen potential nest sites. They advertise their positions in a most colorful, eye-catching way. With wings outstretched, they inflate their enormous throat pouches and call to the passing females. The biggest and brightest air sacs have the most appeal. The female makes her choice. And the male shields her from the nearby competition. After pairing, the males source material to construct their nests. Frigate birds have such short legs, they're unable to walk on land or swim in water. They cannot take off from flat surfaces, so collecting twigs requires enormous skill. Most of their food is obtained on the wing. Robbing other seabirds in flight can account for nearly half their diet. Internal pilfering also plays a part during nest building. Parental care in frigate birds lasts longer than that of any other bird species. Both parents take turns to feed their young for the first 3 months. After this, the mother takes sole responsibility for up to 1.5 years. Many creatures have evolved in order to survive on the Galapagos. However, on South Plaza Island, a plant has also been forced to change. Unlike many cactus species, these plants have grown extra long trunks. Their fleshy pads and flowers are the favorite meal of a creature that roams this tiny island in large numbers. A beast that Darwin referred to as hideous. Land iguanas are large, stocky lizards. They can be over 1 meter long and weigh up to 13 kilos. They feed mainly on low-growing plants and shrubs, which also provide them with moisture during the island's long, dry periods. Younger prickly pear cacti have sharp spines that grow on their fleshy trunks, pads, and flavorful fruits. The spines do little to deter the iguanas. Rolling the fruit in soil removes most of the spines. Now it's ready to eat. In time, the cacti grow taller, and the spines on the trunk are replaced by a thick, scaly bark. These older plants become too tall for the iguanas to reach. However, the lizards still value these tall structures. Each iguana claims a tree. They sit patiently in the plant's shade for up to a month, waiting for the ripe fruit to drop. Feeding territories overlap due to the large number of iguanas living here. Claiming fallen fruit isn't that straightforward. This iguana bobs its head towards the intruder, It's a sign of aggression, meaning stay away. Undeterred, the trespasser steals his neighbor's bounty. The Central Galapagos Islands are incredibly fertile, playing home to a rich array of wildlife. But far to the east lies an island that's a shadow of its fruitful past. Espanola is the oldest of all the Galapagos Islands. It's traveled approximately 9 meters east since Darwin's visit, and over 160 kilometers since its creation around 4 million years ago. This arid and relatively flat island is dying. The further it drifts from the region's volcanic hotspot, the more it cools, contracts, and sinks. Espanola's remote location may be hostile to many creatures, but the island's steep cliffs serve as perfect runways for one of the largest flying birds in the world. The waved albatross stands over 1 meter tall and has a wingspan approaching 2.5 meters. Espanola is this bird's only nesting place. The entire world population relies on this island. Each April, 12,000 breeding pairs return to Espanola's shores. Males are the first to arrive, followed shortly by their partners. Waved albatross mate for life, and the male begins his annual courtship dance. This performance of strutting, honking, and beak clacking can last up to 5 days. Once reacquainted, the female lays a single egg. Both birds share the responsibility of incubation. Feeding newly hatched chicks also requires joint effort. Both parents can make round trips of over 3,000 kilometers while out fishing. The colony remains on Espanola until December, when the chick is fully grown. In January, most of the colony leaves the island to fish along the nutrient-rich Humboldt Current. Young albatross won't return for 5 or 6 years. Only then will they be ready to seek a mate. Espanola is eroding away. Waves crash into lava fissures, creating blowholes that spray water nearly 30 meters into the air. The powerful Humboldt current will eventually swallow Espanola. and every other Galapagos island heading this way. The Galapagos Islands are a wilderness of wonder. Uninfluenced by people for so long, they provided one man with a unique snapshot of evolution. Creatures here have adapted to their ever-changing environment. As the land beneath their feet comes and goes. Darwin's Eden-like wilderness continues to be a vital part of our natural world's history.